Should we mute everybody before I go into this? Cause
green eggs and bacon.
All right. Give me a count from 5.
Got you. In 5, 4. In 5.
Gio, give me a count from 5, please.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are back with a very special episode, as we told you last week. This is episode 100. I just felt like I needed to do something big. I'm going to try to keep the intro nice and tight so we can bring to you some of the exciting content that we have planned for today's episode. But I do need to, quickly address this major milestone. On the last episode, I told you guys about how I have some exciting announcements, a little bit of a teaser that's going to come along with this episode 100. And I talked about building the team. And one thing that we are going to be incorporating, as you kind of saw last week with my dad coming in as a third mic, moving forward, we're going to be, having on a third mic as often as possible, whether we have a guest or not. So today in the studio with me, I got my third mic, Tom.
Yo, how are you going to do that without a third guy? You just said with or without.
What? No, with or without a guest.
Who's third micing if you don't have a guest?
You're third miking, or if I have somebody else that's rotating.
Wait, am I not a guest?
Did I not have this figured out?
See, after you've come enough times, you're not a guest. It's
like
a Portuguese household thing. You're just part of the fam now. You got to wash your own dishes.
Yeah,
all right.
You're just involuntarily on the show now. And with me, as always, we got Gio.
Yo.
And the other thing, the major thing that I want to state before we jump into today's episode. Gio, are you ready to hit that
I am.
when I finish?
Yep, don't worries.
I have been posting episodes on YouTube.
Insert yay button here.
No, I have been doing the video editing, as I've been talking about for a while now, starting with episode 89. That was the first episode on my channel, which is wALiE_ECV. And you can find it. I'm sure I'll link stuff below. But this is the official announcement that I have all of the episodes from 89 all the way to 100. So 11 episodes if you would like to jump in and get caught up. Part of the reason why I hesitated and waited so long to make that announcement, despite putting out a bunch of episodes, was because I needed to make sure I was confident in my abilities to video edit, and also that I knew the YouTube platform well enough. So if you've already, found, I know I already had a couple people comment on it. So if you found it already, sweet. I appreciate the love.
Shout outs to you, buddy. You know who you are.
Yeah. I appreciate it. And it's kind of really cool to say that I am on YouTube, and this podcast is at this point for episode 100 that I get to bring that exciting news. I think that's, I feel like if I just kind of keep going, I'm not saying anything anymore. So
it's time to click that button.
Yeah, we should jump into this episode.
All right.
Last time. Sorry, yeah. 100.
I was here for one too. One night.
Yeah, you were here for a lot. You were my introduction to podcasting. I used to record these back at the Winter Gets Nothing studio, and I think the last time I was on Winter Gets Nothing was like episode 100 when we had our first debate that I should not have lost, but we had the perfect rematch back on episode 98. He was just on. If you tuned into that episode, this is a similar version to Tom. He's not disclosing his identity.
This is Tom Ye.
Tom Ye.
It's a different guy.
Are you Jew-ish?
Jew friendly.
Jew friendly.
Jew adjacent.
No. Oh wait, no. That wasn't Kanye. That was like some
No, it was
senator
Kanye.
or
No, it
something.
was Kanye.
No. There was a senator or something that said he was Jewish.
Oh,
and
Santos.
then walked back his claims and was like, "No, I said I was Jew-ish." Like sort of.
Like I grew up Catholic and I knew Jews. I'm Jewish. Like,
Yeah.
it's just very close.
Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Dude, I'm so like cracked out and nervous today. Episode 100. This is like a big deal, and I'm not providing fun content.
I mean, we'll have a game for later.
Should we just jump into the game?
You want to start with the game and
Yeah.
go topics? Let's start with the game.
Let's make it fun for you guys. So we have a fun little game planned. Am I just picking one at random?
No.
Can you break it down?
I'll break it down.
Yeah.
So basically, we found this game where wALiE has to create a business, right? So, Tom, do you have your pink cards, by the way?
No, I don't have anything.
I'm going to give you half of mine.
Okay.
I have enough. So, hang on. I'll get up after I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. So, these 3 cards that wALiE has right here, he has to come up with a business. And you're going to do them in order because that's how me and Tom planned it.
Top one first?
Yep, top one first. So you're probably not going to see them or read them from here, but, it is what it is. He has to come up with the business based off of whatever those cards are. And then me and Tom have to give him a pink slip to really stump him on said business. And we'll see how he does.
All right, give me them
we're
slips.
we're gonna see if he does well. And comment down below if you guys are on YouTube you think he did, how you think he did.
If I can do 100 episodes of a podcast of a brand that I've created from scratch, I think this game is easy money. So
Sure.
it's not. It's just, all right. A cool new weapon. Okay. It's a weapon that I don't know. A weapon that like a digital weapon that you can use on like social media platforms that like instead of like shooting someone and they get hit by your bullet, like you could just like shoot the follower, like you could just delete followers from people's accounts. It's a status weapon. So you destroy someone's character. You can like use it to I don't know.
Okay.
Get rid of followers, decrease the number of likes. It's like every time you quote unquote shoot this virtual the meta world gun at like a target, it'll like, and you can get upgrades and shit for the weapon. So the weapon like starts by like every time you make contact, it takes away 1 like. You could upgrade it to like a automatic, so you can and get like 10 likes taken off. You could also use it to like remove followers, delete accounts, so it's a gun, a digital gun. All right, that's my point. Digital gun that affects people's social media statuses.
All right. Do you have a pink card just yet?
I could throw one out there.
All right. So Tom will throw the first pink card.
Okay, it's all that, but it's extremely bad for the environment. It's terribly harmful for the environment. So,
well, as I
just
stated,
explain why that is.
this weapon is created for the digital platform, which means they're only trying to ensure that it is ethical on the meta world to whatever degree that it needs to be, as long as they can, gun rights and stuff, Second Amendment laws on the internet. I don't know how it would work, but that's what you're doing with this weapon. It's all on the website, platform, software, download. I don't know how it's going to be. I'm not the engineer behind it. It's just the idea. So in order to create it, every time, or in order to fire your weapon, like the resource that it requires you to either spend money or whatever goes into throwing trash bags into the ocean, or it goes into like nuclear plants or I don't know, solar panels production. It goes into ethically or like environment damaging acts.
Okay. And I'm going to throw my pink card. It must clamp onto you in a painful way.
Oh yeah, this device clamps on. It's a plug-in into your like computer or laptop or device, but the other side of that plug in order to, power it. It needs to be clamped on with these metal like daggers almost to really like go into your skin. Like it has to like stick into your arm or wherever you want to clamp it, and it sucks the blood out of you or blood or soul. I don't fucking know.
All right.
So it's like Neuralink, except it just harms your social media enemies, but it's constantly.
But it harms your real world.
Exhaust. Yes.
Yeah.
It harms real world things with like social and internet or digital, like.
So
output.
you can hurt your enemies, but at a cost. It
Yes.
sounds like.
A global. I think it's always that way. You know.
And these designs were cleverly input to this device, not because we're trying to destroy the environment or trying to, damage your skin or hurt you in any way, but we want you to understand the implications or impact that you have on others when you're damaging someone's character. We want you to really pay the price. It's really just a mark on society and the individuals. Is it really worth tearing other people down? Because when you're doing so, you're tearing down your environment and yourself in order to do so. That's how you're going to be able to do that. So if you want more ammo, you got to clamp more or harder or tighter or add a new clamp depending on the type of ammunition and whatever you are trying to destroy of another character. Or plus, it may be we're working. It's still in development. We're trying to create the type of weapon or the type of ammo that, depending on the victim's status. So certain people with a blue check mark, like, are unaffected by lower grade ammunition. So you need higher grade ammunition. You need to do more damage to yourself in order to actually have an effect on someone with a bigger status than you, et cetera, et cetera.
So they are the apple of destroying your enemies.
It's like PvP social media.
Right?
And I want the clamps to like create a mark that like a scar that doesn't, almost like heroin addicts, how they have the tracks on their arm, like they always have that. Or someone who like was a cutter in school, like always has like those scars on them. So these scars are going to be notable, whereas like someone with a heroin addiction or who's cutting, you kind of feel bad. You're like, oh man, they went through some shit. Whereas someone who has the scars that this thing produced, you kind of recognize like you're a fucked up, like you're just out here to hurt the world. So people will recognize that injury and scar and kind of like correlate you in a similar way to how people that use steroids, you kind of know. It's like, you took a cheat code. What's up?
Time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's enough for that one. All right, Tom, how do you think you did?
I was very concerned at the end when he was describing an entire subway system being developed on your arms.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I threw that at you, I threw that you. No, you threw it had to be clamped on.
Yeah, he did. I did, yes.
I don't know. Personally, I'm terrified. I think there's better ways to get back at people on the internet, like saying, great reply, lol. Like, you just like,
right.
that just harms people.
But that's why this device is so awesome, because the people that take this shortcut, this cheat code, if you will, are going to be branded as a cheater, as a person who's just trying to tear others down. It's going to be so notable. Like the
so
shame
wear long
that
sleeves,
you
everyone.
Feel, yeah. Well, the device, the clamp is still in production. At this time, we have found that the upper thigh and the tricep are the places that it currently can snap onto. We're trying to work on some ways to make it something that attaches to your face or to your neck. So you really have to brand or brandish the wounds that you've caused.
So for everyone who's wondering why I would buy this, I don't know either. The other thing is, if you want to get away with all this, just start clamping it to, the homeless or people you don't care about and using that to kill people or kill their status. On to the next one.
I don't want a bunch of homeless people going around being able to downvote my posts. Fuck that. I'm constantly posting about the homeless. Just out there like these fucking street muscles. Street muscle, is that a good
that's gonna be the
derogatory term?
new term for the homeless. They're
Bunch
your
of
street muscle.
Yeah, with 2 S's.
I like that
like
better,
the clams. Like they just clench onto the walls
Oh,
around
street
them and they just slay.
I'm no longer using homeless people anymore. They're street muscle.
Yeah, no, they're not ripped or anything. They're just like clams that latch on and just kind of filter feed as you go by them. They like change, give them the nutrients, and there you go. You got your street muscles. I don't know. That's not a real thing.
Yet.
Street muscles.
Next one, wALiE.
This guy's taking notes.
I take podcasting very seriously, Tom. Clearly, you do not.
Street muscles.
Quote of the day and his name's Tomye. Okay.
Oh, did we come up with a name for that product? I'm gonna call it street muscles for.
You're gonna call it street muscle.
That weapon is called the street muscles.
Okay.
Street muscles.
A single one is called muscles. Like, I don't know.
All right, what's
Street
the best
muscles. So
derogatory term you can come up for the homeless?
dude, oh wait, this is a fun game. Like, I want to revisit that one.
All right, we're going to the next one though. We got to go on.
All right. Something that improves the funeral experience. Street muscles. That's what street muscles improve the funeral experience.
You can't use the same business for the next card
Why not?
because
It's a
that's the same
multi-purpose tool.
business.
It's a multi-purpose
All right,
tool.
fine.
Fine. You know
something-
what? Fine. No, but if you're gonna use the same business, you got to create a down branch from that. But like you know, almost like how Apple has the iPhone, but
Okay,
then
so-
the
all right.
iPad, and yeah.
All right. Something that improves the funeral experience. I will say, catering.
Catering.
It's just
Catering.
catering. We're
Like,
just gonna cater your funeral.
Going around with like bacon scallop plates and what's some other things that like you see at weddings, like just cheese plates or little like asparagus or little like pizza bites or little glasses of champagne. Yeah, just catering.
Okay.
Catering at the funeral.
I have to now change my card because then it doesn't change anything. I pulled out the pink slip being like, this will be a stump for anything. And then it was just like, must be edible. Nope, that can't be it.
That's definitely edible.
Yeah, it's definitely fucking edible.
Must be edible. The funeral experience must be edible.
No, whatever your
So
business was.
so it's
no.
No. I like this. It
No,
must
no,
be
no,
edible.
Nope. I have a new card.
Yeah, but dude, I have a good take on
You
this.
can take it, but it's
All right, so the catering is produced by the deceased. So we will have these gourmet chefs that know how to that have been on Chopped and some of those like TV shows, and they learn how to cook with everything, and they have to use the deceased remains in order to create. So like it'll look like bacon wrapped scallop, but it's really just like flesh wrapped ball sack.
okay. I'm gonna give my real card now.
Okay, fine.
It must sedate the user.
Sedate the user.
So your catering company must sedate.
Oh, dude, that's for the benefit because it's hard. The grieving process is never easy, and at the funeral, like you're starting to be distracted by the food, so you can kind of like take yourself away from it, and at least you're being filled, which is all drugged with sedatory chemicals so that you fall asleep by the end of the funeral, and then you're done. You're just that's the sedation process.
Okay.
So now you can sleep through the crying that you would have had.
Who needs to be sedated?
A
person.
A person.
Which person needs to be sedated?
I guess the people who are calling for the funeral or calling for this catering company.
Not in this situation. In the world,
The loved one.
somebody out there needs to be sedated. Who are we putting down?
All right.
Just trank him real quick. Just keep one of a low
Sedated?
dose zombie.
Sedated or
Yeah. We need to zombify one public person, or it doesn't even have to be public. I guess it could be a private person. Who in your
All right.
life needs to be sedated on a regular basis?
sedated?
Tomye's ex-wife. I've heard
Alright.
she's been spreading rumors about Tomye.
Kim Possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kim Possible.
State my wife. State my current wife.
Keep my wife's name out your. No. All right. I like that. I like this premise. Who needs to be sedated? Rick and Morty guy, Rick and Morty actor, voice actor, whatever.
You got to just put him down, dude.
He was like, "Fuck sedition."
What's he
for
doing on
skipping
all
stuff.
those Epstein flights, dude? You see him on the logs?
No,
He's on the logs.
I have not even looked at the logs.
Listen, let me tell you, dude, there's this accusation of him and some young fans. Let me tell you, you're on the Lolita Express. Questions answered. Questions
go.
answered.
Okay.
Put him down. Justin Roiland needs to go to heck.
Go.
Straight up. Sedate him.
All right.
Put him in a cell. Small cell.
Now, you have a pink slip, too. You going to hit him with another pink slip?
I'm already like ready to move on from this segment.
I am too.
All right. Sounds good. Only one pink slip, that one.
A way to memorize loved ones who have passed. Okay, I see what you did. You made a nice little game. So I invent a weapon that puts someone in the funeral that I now have to remember. Yeah, I don't know. The same clamping device has a new 2.0 feature that, whoever you degrade or diminish, likes, follows, etc., that takes up a section, like a gigabyte of your brain that can never be replaced. So it may take up a piece of your brain that is your, favorite memory with your brother or your mom. So now, to memorialize your loved ones. Oh, wait, I was like, let's move on, dude. I need to.
So tell me, all of you out there, do you think that wALiE does great with businesses, seeing as this is
Better yet. Is this a segment that we should ever do again?
Give me a business. Give me a business. I'll do a business.
All right, let's
give one.
Let's give Tom a business.
A completely random one. Don't even. All right.
All right, ready? A way to make your ex jealous on social media.
Oh, coming at you! It's a brand new product. It's so great. It's a new hologram girlfriend. She's way hotter hologram girlfriend. That's what the product's called. It's called Way Hotter.
Way hotter.
And it uses AI to analyze your girlfriend's social media posts and pictures to create somebody that she'd be absolutely jealous of. Just her worst nightmare.
It only works for hetero couples, or
it works for anything. I mean, I don't know what whatever you're in, whatever you think she'd be against you being into, like whatever she's into, it just takes her insecurities and just puts them on blast. It's
like an AI algorithm that creates like an image representation of
everything. Like even her Amazon search history, she's looking for a push-up bra. Well, this chick's got perky buns. She's got perky fun buns, and they ain't going nowhere. She Googled BBL once. Well, guess what? Donked.
I don't know what those last 7 words were.
I do.
Googled BBL and donked? What?
Just Google it.
Is this meme?
Why don't you Google? I'm not Googling it and putting it on screen if that's what you're about to ask. No.
No, I was not going to. So that's a fun one.
I think that business was way better than what his were. His hurt people and themselves. I would never buy a product that hurt me to hurt someone. Now that sounds nice.
Yeah, let's just hurt your enemies.
Dude, imagine if, we wouldn't have to have gun laws if guns did more damage to the user, just long-term damage to a user. If every time you shot a gun, it gave you a little bit of cancer.
So what you're saying is you're creating a product that will never sell intentionally?
Let me tell you something here.
I'm just trying to
should have stopped it.
Make the world better. What'd you say?
I said you should have stopped it. We wouldn't need gun laws.
So yes, Tom wins that one. Tom, oh shit, Tommy's dying. Okay, no, we're good. We're back.
Sorry.
All right.
St. Patty's Day.
There we go.
St. Patty's Day. That was a smooth transition.
Yeah, it was.
I gotta act like I've done 100 episodes. This has been such a weird. It's probably better than what I feel like I'm doing, but you're not gonna leave those there.
What do I do with them? I don't want to hold these. I don't. Okay, I'm sorry.
They're on set. No free ads. Yeah, the fun little journey from, recording ever-changing ViBE episodes 1 through 3 at the Winner Gets Nothing studio to doing a couple guest spots over at Winner Gets Nothing, and now we're
talking about redheads with alcoholism.
We are. Okay. Is that
that's
street
what
muscles?
I was like, I love how you went to that. I was like, didn't we start this with St. Patty's Day?
I see it. Oh, yes. Clever transition. He still has the podcasting in him.
Do you
That's
think
why we
it's
brought him
like?
back.
Do you think the green's all about like like primary colors? Like there's so much red in the state that when they put the green on there, that like it's a nice contrast for once, right?
Red, green, and is it yellow? No, red, green, and blue.
Oh,
What
their
are the-
flags
St. Patty's Day?
orange, green, and white.
No. But what's the primary colors? Like
Mexico
Roy G. Biv.
colors. Oh.
Red, white, green.
I'm talking about the flag still. It's the same as Mexico.
Is yellow?
No, it's I think it's red, yellow, and blue.
Red, yellow, blue. Oh yeah, and yellow and blue make
Yeah.
green. So it's red, yellow, and blue, and those three colors make every other color.
That's what they try to convince you. I don't believe them.
You don't believe them?
No. I put enough colors together, I get brown every time. I think brown makes all the colors. Reverse engineer that shit.
Brown is made up of all the colors.
Yeah, it's like when you take a shit, All the things you eat, they're always different colors, whether it's the white rice or the green vegetables or the...
I love this.
Corn supremacy.
That finally
Yellow,
makes sense.
no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out at the end. Comes out the same way it would in corn supremacy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Yeah, corn actually goes... It just comes out the same way. That's right.
Unaffected.
And let's think about the other, so corn, if you have what's the, I can't think of something blue. I don't know, like certain gummies. If you have a lot of blue gummies, blue will come out as your poop. So you can get...
Wait, what?
Poop almost is always brown, right?
Or green.
Or blue if you're wALiE.
All right.
Yeah, blue for wALiE. I don't know what... I was like, wait, my poop has never come out blue.
Maybe it was like Fun Dip or something that turned or Lucky Charms.
How much did you have?
Probably more than I'm supposed to. I don't know what the right amount to make a blue poop is. If you really want to know,
Ask my girl because she's hopped up on TikTok and it's fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Everything, dude. She's just like, you can't eat that. She's like, you can't have that. I'm like, this is a glass of water. She's like, oh, it's toxic now. I read it on TikTok.
Do people not realize TikTok is still the internet? Like, people used to get laughed at when you'd be like, not everything you read on the internet is a fact. Like, when did that stop being a quote?
TikTok.
Yeah. I saw it on TikTok, so now it's like, no, dude. One of the things that used to get me the most pissed off was when they were kind of doing life hacks. It was around that era when those got really popular. Mm-hmm. It was things like the correct way to peel a banana or the correct way to use a can opener. And it was like, that's not the correct way.
Yeah.
That might be an easier way, a better way, but it's not the correct way. If I fucking dude, I'm not joking. This is probably 5 years ago. Out of spite, I started, whenever I'm having a banana, unless it's, really ripe and it would just squish, I literally snap it from the middle and go, neither way is the correct way. I get my full banana. I just snap it right there, breaks the peel, and then I have a half banana and then another half banana. Every time. Because, you're not going to tell me the correct way to fucking use something if the way I'm using it gets the result that I'm intending. That's the same result that the correct way provides. What's the dude? I just got.
If you guys were wondering, yes, wALiE is the guy that bites Kit Kat sideways.
Oh.
TV
Ireland.
Freeland.
Nah, this is somewhat of
What's
a conversation I had with my brother though. Is if you know what I said, and I didn't say it right, I still said it right. Just pretty much.
Was he disagreeing with you or?
Are you guys also Irish?
No, this is just a conclusion we came to one day when we were exhausted beyond language and still understanding. I was like,
I feel like that's
and he
something,
passed me what I wanted, so it counted.
I feel like that's something that brothers and friends can do, but significant others.
Oh no, I could use proper language with my significant other. I'm just like, hey babe, can we have mac and cheese for dinner? She's like, I did the laundry. I go, all right. She's like, it's still in the wash. I'm like, all right. Your work shirt is in there. All of your work shirts. You have none.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to work in 10 minutes, babe, and I wanted macaroni.
Yeah.
All your work shirts are in the wash. Yeah, no, I don't feel I can communicate.
So my booth babe helps like translate, especially when we're in a group of people. Like when I don't make sense, she translates. Even when we're like, alone and I'm talking to her and she's like, all right, are you trying to say this? But she always does it with like making sure she goes, well, you said the wrong thing. Like that part has to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that like that's a booth babe thing. That's what she does. Like I do it back to her. And that's why I was saying like significant others, I feel are the only ones that whatever you said, like they might understand what you said, but you didn't say the correct thing yet.
Listen, as a group of straight men, we're just talking about women. Women be shopping. I'll put it out there. They be shopping.
Women be shopping?
Women be shopping. I'm here to generalize. That's my thing.
Yeah, did you forget he's Tomye today?
Yeah, Tomye.
Let me tell you about groups of anything.
All right.
Tell us about
video gamers.
They be shopping.
They be shopping?
Video gamers be shopping. You got their DLC codes out there. They got to pay $45 for a $20 game. Gamers be shopping.
Okay, all right. Children.
Be shopping. They're out there. They got the new Pokemon card. They can't afford it. They're scratching at their dad's leg like a loose hyena. It's, children, they be trying to shop. They got no money, though.
So they're not shopping. So what are they doing?
Stealing.
Opening lemonade stands so they can start shopping.
Any other groups?
Let me see. Anime nerds.
They be shopping. I don't know. Anime nerds.
I bet if they be shopping, they be wasting their money.
Anime fans, they be borderline pedos. They can't be watching an anime series.
Now, this is the hot take we were looking for.
Uh-oh. Hang on.
So do anime nerds... Actually, we were talking about this off air a little bit, and I think it's a good conversation to have with anime. Is it... I think there's two sides. There's the idea that it's just a trend. And it's
then
just
there's
like,
the pedos.
And,
Look it up.
And there's the idea that it's like, it's not just a trend. It's just like trending as people start to like totally accept it, especially in this area.
I mean, I don't even think this just applies to anime. This just applies to everything. Like with the internet, ideas are just going global. So like subcultures of the internet are starting to just permeate out and infect every single zone of our life. I mean, just even like with politics and toxicity and stuff, like that is just a development that happens online, and people just go out there and act like their tiny echo chamber is the entire world's view. And sadly, as more and more people do that, it's manifesting reality. And everybody's world around them is becoming terminally online.
Yeah, I like that premise. I don't think it is a trend. It is just like subcultures in the expansion of connect. Yeah, you just find your people. So like that does make sense. It just kind of like explodes bigger, like small things that like, because if I just try to find all the anime nerds in my local area, I'd find more MILFs if I just stay on like Pornhub.
That's what they tell you.
I like that.
My husband's dead. I just want to fuck.
And there's like 50 of the same woman looking in your area. Like it specifically states your area, which is crazy.
It's been the same girl for 20 years. She hasn't aged a bit.
Not at all. She's been drinking baby blood.
Speaking of people that like haven't aged, I know we've given credit to Jennifer Aniston for all these. Like she's almost 60 and she still is one of the Jennifer Aniston. This is like so sidebar. I'm going in a completely different direction right now.
No, I'm just bad with names. I gotta Google.
Jennifer, you know who Jennifer Aniston is?
I gotta Google.
It's Rachel from Friends, right?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, it's Jennifer Aniston. Like she's more notable for who she is. She's like so attractive, has always been. And I remember like when I was in middle school, it was like, wow, she looks hot in her 50s or like her 40s. She looks hot in her 50s. And another person like that, like Beyonce, I know a lot of people like say like, or Jennifer Lopez, like 45, still looks like one of the hottest like women out there, and
Like
Jennifer
Madonna.
Aniston. No, not like Madonna. Like most women age poorly.
Hasn't aged.
You gonna stick with that?
What?
Most
aged a
women
bit.
age poorly. wALiE's take of the day that I'm putting on the spot for.
No, yeah, let's stick
don't
with
you
lock
that.
pulling
me in
a
on
Don
this.
Lemon?
Stick with that.
No, don't lock me in on this one.
Are you pulling a Don Lemon?
I guess I didn't fit. I don't know.
Did you see him this week?
I mean, no. What happened?
Don Lemon, dude. He's been trapped in getting demoted over and over again over at CNN until they gave him like a morning talk show with two women that he absolutely obviously hates.
Yeah.
I think he has contempt for most women in general. But that's just my take.
Dude,
he doesn't have a use for them, you know.
He's gonna be an incel.
He's more of a phallus man. So I don't think he has a use for women.
Is he actually gay?
I'm 90% sure. I don't 100% know, but I'm like,
You don't know if he's out.
if he's not, I'm so much more shocked. I've never seen him and a man together.
I feel like I definitely have heard this name a lot.
He's
Don
a
Lemon.
he's a
I
CNN
don't know.
host. He's been around for years, but he was on air and he was talking about Nikki Haley, who is running for the Republican presidential candidacy.
Yeah, he's married. He's been married to a guy named Tim Malone since
I
2017.
was gonna say there's no way that dude's straight. There's zero possibility.
Tim or Timantha, and he's just covering it.
Imagine.
But no, he just
Bro, I don't know Don Lemon. I've heard the name, but like one of the pictures I just saw, I was like, yeah, there's no way.
That's I know.
he's just to buy a picture. No way.
There's no way.
What was I thinking of?
Oh shit, oops, wrong. Didn't go all the way.
I don't.
Yeah,
There we go.
we got some. We got a lot of new features over here at the studio.
Yeah, there's no way. Like he has like.
He's that white woman.
Oh, why does it keep shrinking?
I think that's actually the two hosts. I think that's the
That
two.
one that you said he hated.
Yeah, the two of them seem like they might not hate each other, but they both hate him and he hates them.
The woman on the left is a very handsome woman.
He is suspended though because he said when Nikki Haley ran, she basically was like, "Hey, I'm going to put in a bill that says if you're over 75 and you're in the Senate or president or any of that, you're going to be tested for your mental faculties." On a regular basis to make sure, we don't have a Ronald Reagan situation. Well, he started describing women outside of their, at first he said 30s, he extended it to 40s, but he said they're past their prime because that's what Nikki Haley was saying about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, that they were past their prime and too old. And so he said, I don't think she should be talking. Any woman outside her 30s is past their prime. And the two female hosts,
Fucking Leo DiCaprio, like
obviously not in their 30s,
look
said,
at those eyebrows, dude. She's handsome.
past your prime for what was their question.
Yeah, what is the like average like internal clock, if you will, like
It's like 45.
45?
Fertility starts dropping at 18 for women. Dead ass.
Yeah. No, I think
It
by the
doesn't
time
mean you
you're
can't
in,
have kids. It's
by-
just your fertility is dropping every year after that.
I think by your mid 30s, there's like a higher chance for you to like have like people like kids with like disabilities and stuff like that for women specifically.
I don't know specifically about
If I
the
remember
disability
correctly.
aspect. Could be. I know with men it tends to get trickier as you get older. You can't have a kid until you're 70. Let me tell you what's going to happen with that kid at 70. It's going to be a little dusty. Good chance that kid's a little dusty. But, the women, anytime after like mid-30s, you're really rolling the dice if you didn't get started before then.
right.
Which, I guess that's what Don Lemon was talking about. But I think a woman can find herself in her prime as a CEO girl boss at 65 and childless.
Yo, Tom Ye over Kanye any day. Like, promote Tom Ye over Kanye.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I'm trying to like come up with a witty dude. My comedy is just off today.
Yeah, it is.
I just don't have
You're
it.
struggling. It's okay.
I was trying to
100.
what?
100.
What?
It's the episode 100.
No, I was trying to make a connection to instead of just Tom Ye, the new Andrew Tate. But how do I?
Oh.
I was trying to connect like a Andrew Tom. I don't fucking know. Andrew Tom or Tom
Tatum.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum. Celtics. St. Patty's Day. Let's go.
Let me tell you, you're past your prime for an Andrew Tate date if you're past
Or Tom
what,
Tate.
19.
Well, didn't he just literally today?
Actually, that sounds like a surgery.
What?
Tom Tate.
Oh,
Tom
don't
Tate?
Tom mutate anything.
Yeah.
Episode title: Tom you take. No.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, since
what was-
I feel like this topic's been going on for too long. Why don't we switch over to like maybe quitting? Like, you know,
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
sense
yeah,
to quit.
Let's quit that segment. And
Yeah.
Tom's been so you're kind of introducing us to this concept of like being more okay with quitting. And I think I have a very similar story in like developing that revelation. And it applies a lot recently to the way I watch podcasts. I think a lot of it comes from like an OCD where I have to watch every single episode, every single minute, every single second of every new episode. And I used to have like 5 on my roster and like 5 every single week that I'm like, I have to watch the entire thing. And sometimes there's like a 3-hour one, a 1.5 hour, 2 hour. And I'm like, I literally don't have the time in the week to keep on top of all of these podcasts. So, I have been dropping, I think the only podcast that I like have to listen to is the YMH. And this recent one, I am like halfway through and I might not even finish this one. But you were telling me that you've come into this revelation about quitting. Can you explain like really what you mean by quitting? Because it's not.
Well, it's not that you should like be quitting on things that are difficult or whatever. Like certain times just overcoming difficulties can be better for you in the long run, like challenging yourself to do something. But I've just been coming into understanding that a lot of things I do are things that I do habitually that I just don't need to do anymore. And kind of, I was more with you bringing out the podcast and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I'm a huge fan of show A or B, and I feel like I need to watch it or finish it, or just say there's like a long ongoing series. I'll get 4 seasons deep into something now, and I'll just be like, I don't even care anymore, and I'm never gonna care if I never find out. So I just walk away from things that I don't care about anymore. I feel like I get invested in things that don't matter, and I'm starting to recognize when something just absolutely doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine to walk away.
Especially with like TV series and stuff like right now, when I find myself on like episode 8 of season 1 on my phone the entire episode, like just having it as background noise, I'm like, I used to always go, well, I'm gonna finish this. I already started. I gotta finish it. Maybe it'll get better. It's like, yeah, but in order for it to have a potential of getting better, you would have needed to be locked in at that point. So now it doesn't matter if the series or the conclusion or the like cliffhanger at the end of the season is awesome. You're not going to understand it as well as if you paid attention. So it didn't matter. Like the moment you stop having like focus or interest in that show, like it's time to just drop it. And I think part of why I started doing that in the first place, like forever ago, was the idea, like when talking with people, I wanted to be like, I'm the biggest X, Y, and Z fan. I'm the biggest, Chance the Rapper fan. I've listened to every single song. And then as he started to drop off, I still like listen to every song. I refuse to skip it if it popped up randomly on like a playlist. But I'm like, I don't want to listen to the song right now. And I eventually got to the point, it's like, I don't have to be the biggest fan. So I kind of started around that time with like, I guess I don't have to always be on top of every single thing. And then I like kind of forgot about that sentiment. And the next time I did it, I think I was watching Breaking Bad, and it just got boring to me a little bit because I went from watching Sons of Anarchy, which is just a more like exaggerated in your face, and not saying that it's a better show. It's just like a more like popping entertainment, whereas like the quality of the storyline in Breaking Bad I think is better. But I went from wanting that type of content to watching Breaking Bad. I'm like, I just could never finish Breaking Bad because it was too long and drawn out, especially like the Fly episode. I think it's literally the last episode I watched. The Fly.
No, that's
like
often what I refer to as the only episode that seemed like filler.
Yeah.
But I've had people disagree with me. More so people that just are just contradictory for the sake of being so, but I've had a person who often is that person in my life say, actually, that's the best episode of the show. See, it's the the unwinding of Walter. It really expresses his breaking point as he's losing control. And I'm just like, no, you're a fucking loser, and that was filler.
I hate you if you give me that fucking rant, because it's like, okay, fine. Like, you got a lot out of that, and there's a lot to be broken out of that, but they could have still done it better. Like, if that was the purpose of the unwinding, well, like, the unwinding is fucking boring. Maybe skip that episode, or find a way to display his unwinding through
The
a
entire
more
rest of the
entertaining
show?
There's just some things that like I can't do. Another one I gave up on just superhero, mostly Marvel. Like, I was for so long like trying to make sure I watched all the movies, watch them in order, watch like, the 3 Thor movies, and then the 3 Iron Mans, and then the 2 Captain Americas, and then this, and then the Endgame, and then like, I'm like at the point where I'm watching Endgame, and I like didn't need the backstory of some of these other movies. Like, certain ones, like I liked Ant-Man, and I'm probably gonna watch the newest Ant-Man, but if I don't get, like, I still haven't watched the newest Spider-Man, I'll watch that in next year for the first time and enjoy it just as much as if I watched it during the hype, because like, I feel like I'm doing, like, Marvel Cinematic Universe literally created work for the audience. They literally are just like, well, you have to watch all these episodes and remember everything. There's going to be a test. We're going to put out a movie like Endgame, and there's going to be all these Easter eggs. And then you feel like, as a fan, like, if you don't know all the Easter eggs, then you're not the biggest Marvel fan. But it's like, you are the biggest Marvel fan that you can be. Like, just be that. Just enjoy the movie. Like, enjoy the... I feel like that was like not the You're muted.
Example. Oh, yeah, that's right. I feel like that's not the greatest example. Just because it was like... Like, for example, when you said you watched Endgame and you didn't have to, like, have watched the other ones. It's
you had to watch some of the other ones.
I was like, because that end part when everyone starts coming back, that would have not been impactful at all. Like, you would have just been like, who the fuck are these people?
No, but, like, you could have watched the Avengers series. Like, you have to watch all of the Avengers series. Like, the first one where they're in New York against Loki, and those big monsters come in. I forgot. The second one was, like, part 1, and then part 2. Like, you have to watch all 3 of those, but you don't need to necessarily watch. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Iron Man 3.
But I think that, like...
And I didn't miss anything in that movie from Iron Man 3, or from, if I watched Ant-Man or Captain America before that, like, or didn't, like, I still got the same picture.
I think that, like, with what you're talking about, like, there's little innuendos throughout the whole thing, or there's character building throughout the whole thing that's, like, that makes sense for that specific movie that you brought up. Mm-hmm. But I do think the Marvel scene after that has been a struggle for Marvel to, like, make anything interesting. Because it's just like they came in, they had that heavy hitter of like Endgame, and now it's just like, okay, but like, what comes after that? So it's like they're struggling on picking that up. For me, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm still watching all of them just because of the fact that I'm like, I'm already this deep. But like, and that's just me. I'm not that quitter, I guess, in that specific topic. But like, I think that like they are struggling in creating something that like really hits like they did with those.
I think they've been struggling the entire time though. Like, I watched Iron Man 3 and back. I watched everything up until that. I watched it all in one weekend because Iron Man 3 was coming out that weekend, and I was in Florida at a hotel with a coworker, and he was just like, "Oh my god, I got a fucking every movie right now." So I watched them all, and I haven't gotten further than that, but I swear every movie, you could draw a Venn diagram and get the exact same result. They're like, good guy, bad guy, little couple guys in the middle, and like and good guy win at the end. Yeah. And I never feel like the story gets much deeper than that. It's
dude,
you could write the ending just by being announced the characters at the beginning.
I'm over like all superhero movies. I think it's just oversaturated. And I'm not saying that like some of the newer like DC movies aren't awesome or good. I haven't given them a chance.
You don't have to.
And even if they come out with an amazing, new Batman or a new Flash movie is like top of the line, or just another new Marvel movie, I don't care, because I feel like what you just explained, I understand the story of a superhero movie. I've seen all the superhero movie storylines. It's like good guy meets bad guy.
Good guy gets challenged. Good guy gets challenged.
Good guy gets challenged. Then they have a fight that the good guy loses. Then they have the fight at the very end that the good guy wins. Yeah. It's like and literally even Infinity War and Endgame was that. They let it out for 2 years to put it across 2 movies, but that's literally what it was. It was bad guy wins in the first challenge, the first face-off, and then guess what? Oh, the good guys figure it out.
Yeah, if it was one movie, it'd be the same story. They just broke it into 2.
But I think that's just the premise of the majority of movies in general. Is just like bad thing happens, main protagonist wins in the end in some way, shape, or form.
See, I'm a big fan of just horrible movies that don't play by the rules at all, and most people don't.
Did you watch Triple
Berserk?
R?
No.
What is
RRR?
No, what
the fuck is that?
Put it on your to-do list.
Okay.
Watch. It's a 3-hour movie, 3-hour-long movie.
Oh, that's a to-do list.
Dude.
Good luck.
I watched it in 2 sessions, but
yeah.
It's on Netflix. It is. I can't, dude. I might have to rewatch it with Gio, and we might have some extra content to do. I think that would be really fun. I just thought of that. If you guys both haven't watched it, I'm not gonna kind of like talk about it for too long. But one of the movies that I've really loved is 500 Days of Summer. I think it's just a good, just like romantic, not really a rom-com movie because it's not really, it's more of like a rom-dram. Like it's like more drama. But the whole thing is like 500 days, like the story of like this guy dating this girl for 500 days. They have a little, or at some point they have a little breakup, and then they start to rekindle it. And you think that like every other romantic movie, they're going to get back together. And the conclusion is like, no, she moves on. She finds somebody else. And like that whole, like, you know, falling action into the climax or whatever is the most like shocking thing. Even watching it a second time, knowing that that's what happens, it was like, whoa, like this, it's from the point of view of the guy who's like falling back in love with her, and then like going to a party where she introduces him to the new boyfriend, and he's just like, the world fucking hates him. Like, it's just like I want to be surprised. Like even like Midsummer is not like good versus bad challenge, and then lose, and then win. It's like,
but I think that like suspenseful horror movies always have like those type of movies. They have their own tropes.
Well, and this is my point about superhero movies in general. Is like
you're having that superhero fatigue.
So superhero movies have the trope of
The
good versus bad face off, lose to the bad guy, and then the good guy versus bad guy wins against the bad guy. Like, that's every single superhero story arc.
I mean, it all goes back to the classical hero story where, you know, you go down into the dungeon, you fight the dragon, you overcome your challenge, you come back out, you're the victor. It's yeah.
And my point is like thrillers and stuff like that don't have that same trope.
Because there's a suspense to what's going to happen.
They're just a different, even rom-coms don't have that suspense. And I could still pick up and watch a rom-com, or even, I was talking to you the other day about You People. I just watched the You People movie. Who's that lead? He
Eddie Murphy is in it?
Eddie Murphy's in it.
Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill, I think produced or directed or something.
Directed, yeah.
That movie. It was a great movie. And it was a romantic comedy, but it was a good, like, I was okay with, like, the way, like, even though I was able to predict that, I was okay with it, because it was like, you know, not every not every, you know, franchise is creating the same thing. I just feel like there's so many superhero story arcs across everything. I bet the new Avatar has a similar story arc to a superhero movie, but it's not based on, like, you're not following the story of the superhero. You're following, like, the society and a couple different people. That's why, like, Game of Thrones is still awesome. Like, because Game of Thrones, or the shows like Game of Thrones, where you're kind of following, like, 3 different, like, people's stories throughout all the events that transcribe. Like, you're not, it's not like from the superhero's point of view or like a point of view of like rooting for the superhero and then what the superhero does. It's like, here's what this world is doing and what's happening in this world, and here's this person's version of that, depiction of that, and here's this one, and here's this couple, and here's this dragon, and here, like, having more of that where, like, even though I can kind of anticipate or guess what might be coming next, I'm seeing so many different, like, storylines. I don't know who to root for. But I feel like superhero movies are just for the dumb people, or not dumb people are the audience, but like they're
slow your roll.
They're like
I was like, whoop.
it's the way I play like Warzone or Call of Duty is like I play it just to numb my brain for a little bit. It's like it's like an obvious thing that you just know what's gonna happen, you know how it's gonna play out, and it is what it is. It's like
I think that could be refreshing sometimes though. Like for me, I'm one of those people that I watch a bunch of different stuff. Like even for me being an anime nerd, like I'll watch all types of anime. Like for example, like I mentioned Berserk earlier. That anime is extremely, extremely dark. Unfortunately, there's no continuance of it. Like it's done, but like that alone inspired so many other dark, not even just animes, but shows. And it was just like the fact that like you never really know what's gonna happen and stuff like that, or even like shows like that like you're not sure, like there's just full of suspense and stuff like that. They're all good, but sometimes I do like one of my favorite animes is My Hero Academia at the moment. Like, and it's just like it's because of the fact that it's like that simple hero show, but the basis isn't just the fact that it's the simple hero show. You already know at the end of the day, at some point, even though throughout all the dark stuff, they still manage to create suspense because of how they create the emotion up to that point.
I think that's
and I think that's the part that gets me. It's like if you're just creating the superhero win story, if you're not building a storyline where it's like you feel connected to these people, then there's a problem. But if it's just like a regular superhero movie, then yeah, like that's personally why I think DC's been failing compared to Marvel, because Marvel tries to build a storyline behind their characters, whereas DC's just trying to like do the average superhero story.
It's almost like 80s action movies where it's like we're just trying to put big things on the screen for you to enjoy these things on the screen, and we're not focusing on the storyline, which is what we actually fall in love with. Like that's why we loved Iron Man throughout the whole Avengers series, and then we were all emotional when
he died.
Dude. No, it's been like fucking 5 years.
If you haven't watched it at this point,
I
didn't see him die. I didn't watch it yet.
Well, surprise.
He didn't die. He just went into hiding so he could do blackface for Tropic Thunder 2.
Nice. No, but I think one of the things you get out of like you bringing up anime tends to not fall into a lot of the tropes that I see. I think it's a Western media.
That's true.
Trope kind of thing. Like like so much of our stories are just like corporate, big budget. We know what works and keep doing them. And I feel like with anime, mostly
but
because
it has its own tropes too. Like the fan service and
there are plenty of those.
Though somehow plot armor because of friendship. Like there's other things.
But I feel like the ones that get big are because they're very unique stories compared to what we usually get. And I feel like you also have more room to dabble in that because they tend to come from comics, which you can start off with a smaller story and kind of build a thing. I think some of the best stuff in general has come from the comics world. Like
manga, you mean?
That, but also I'm saying comics in general, like, because one thing that I think breaks a lot of the superhero trope, that Omni-Man one that's come out.
That was so good.
Invincible.
Invincible. I loved that show. Whatever. Yeah.
I ended up going and reading the entire comic because I've been waiting for too long.
Dude,
I know that the next season's supposed to be coming out this year, but like I literally went and read the entire comic.
Because it breaks all the, like, whatever we're talking about with the monotony of that traditional Marvel DC style, it just breaks away from it, and it's almost a parody of it. That and The Boys is also another one that's on the list.
I gotta watch The Boys. I've heard, like,
I've tried to convince him a few times.
Booth Babe, who doesn't watch anything besides, which kind of to my next point, like, as you were saying, like, you like having that monotonous idea concepts or like the obvious concepts is relieving at times. That's very much so like Booth Babe. Like, she likes to watch the same, 50 First Dates. Like, it's like a feel-good movie. Like, if she's, homesick, she wants to watch the same movies. If she's like, just has some extra time, she'd want to watch the same movie or TV series again and again, and she doesn't, explore into new movies and TV shows, which is like the opposite of like my good buddy, my former roommate, and I, like, we always like trying brand new movies, or even like movies that we've never seen, like not Invincible. What was the one with I don't know, any of those 80 movies, like Judge Dredd or whatever, like trying those out again. Midsummer's like, I like
Terminator.
I don't know if I watched Terminator yet, but a lot of the old classics, like he was trying to get me to watch Godfather, and I just like
no, RoboCop I think came in the 90s, right?
Either
the
way,
most recent RoboCop is way newer than that.
Yeah,
it's like
way newer than that. I'm talking about
2009
the
or
OG
something.
one.
But yesterday, me and Booth Babe had a
87.
Oh yeah, that old RoboCop one. I forgot about that.
87,
No, I'm thinking of
yeah.
Judge Dredd, not RoboCop. The newest Judge Dredd's very.
They're doing a new one.
No, they came out with a new
No, they came out
RoboCop
with
too, as well. It was in 2018.
Okay, there was a new. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
A new Judge Dredd, you said?
It's fairly. I don't know. It's not that new at this point.
Yeah, it's a few years old.
I'm saying it's newer than the 80s.
yeah, definitely.
I only watched the 80s one. So me and Booth Babe did because we're on February vacation as teachers. We scheduled a little like evening out. We went down to Newport, Rhode Island, which is about an hour commute. I'm a sicko, and I don't listen to music or anything. I just talk. Even if I'm alone, I just either talk out loud or talk in my head and just consume my commutes. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast. Rarely I'll put on music, but usually I just like sit in silence and I just create the entertainment that I need. I think it's like it brings a lot of like value to my character. So she hates it, but I just like talk at her for an hour. I keep us both entertained.
He keeps one of them entertained.
And I keep myself entertained.
Yes.
But like, I mean, the time flies a lot faster than listening to songs where you start going like, all right, we've listened to 4 songs. It's only been 20 minutes. Like, start doing all that calculation ahead. Anyways, we were talking about podcasts and
That's when you just put on a TV show and just the both of you sit there and watch the show in silence.
driving.
I do.
Oh.
Even if I'm I'm the one driving, it's not like I'm necessarally watching the show.
Watching,
Like
just
I'm listening and like peeking over when I can.
That's when you watch Breaking Bad.
This is like the worst example of a show that drags. Like, that's such a good show.
Yeah, I know. So we're talking about podcasts, and I was kind of like explaining, where I'm at, about to record episode 100, and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna announce like that you're on YouTube yet?" And I'm like, "I was waiting for 105. I'm not ready yet." She's, "What are you waiting for?" So thank you, Booth Babe. That's the reason why these are on YouTube now, and that you guys know about it. But also,
No one really doesn't no one knows about it.
as of recording, no one does fucking know about it. I want to go into that before we leave today. But we were talking about just like different types of podcasts, and there was one that like we were referencing that someone that we know and love, that we follow, like an influencer on Instagram, was a guest on some smaller local podcast in the area, and I started watching it because I was like, oh, I want to watch this later, and immediately, like 10 to 15 seconds, just based on the intro, I could tell it was like, it's one of those just like boring podcasts where they've never really improved. They just kind of stick to the same thing. It's just a boring boring opener. Just like, hey, hi, we're here. Oh, our guest is, and then they just do an interview back and forth. It's just very boring to me. And I was trying to explain, like, I don't want my podcast to be that. Like, my goal is to like, shooting for the moon, landing in the stars, if anything. Like, my goal is to be the best podcaster of all time. Like, I want to be so good at any type of podcast. And my version of doing that is by creating, like, very entertaining content. Like, people want to hear what I have to say about nothing. Like, whatever it happens to be, that's, like, my goal as I try to improve. And I would hate to be one of these boring podcasts. And it, like, became evident to me that those boring podcasts, especially with someone like Booth Babe, is like, what I am quote unquote calling boring is comforting to a lot of people. Like, those types of podcasts actually have a lot of value to people, that that they just put it on, and it's like they like the repetition. It puts them in the comfort zone when they like, yep, it's a Monday. Oh, it's the Wednesday episode. Oh, it's the Friday episode, and like every single week, like the episode, the topics might change, but the content stays the same. If that makes sense, like the structure of the show, the way they go about it, the way they like, you know what their take on every single thing is. You know, like the interview, regardless of who the guest is. Like, you know what questions are going to be asked, and you have an idea of like how the guest will go about it. Like, and I'm like, I just don't want to do that, but I started to take a lot more consideration into it, because I was like, well, if I really do want to become the best podcaster, I have to find a way to take an element of that and apply it to this show. Like, I have to find a way to incorporate what everybody loves about everything, like every type of podcast. I want to have that flashy, banging content every episode, but I also want to be able to be a type of podcaster that can kind of create that routine, that comfort feel for the listeners that like that genre of podcasts. And just the more I kept thinking about podcasts and what it means to be a podcaster and all the different ways that I want to like refine my skill set of every version of it. You're drowning me out. Yeah, it's because I'm doing the podcast rant. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Hey,
You doing okay over there?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's how I feel superhero movies are, is me doing the podcast rant. So
Comfort food.
now that I have my voice again,
I like Dave Lynch.
Oh man.
Dave Lynch, podcaster?
Nope.
Who's Dave Lynch?
Film.
Oh,
Makes movies.
like a director, producer,
Yeah. No, everything.
Writer?
Everything.
actor,
Yes.
There we go.
actress?
Everything.
I'm trying to think. There's probably a point where you put a wig on.
I think
No, I like him because he breaks away from like those the conventional kind of thing. Like his stories will go nowhere and keep you enthralled the entire time. Like you just get invested in like he operates. I think he describes it as like a dream sequence. Like sometimes he'll just do things that don't have answers. Like you'll just get like a thing in a show. You're like, what's that guy about? Why'd he do that? And he's like, oh, I don't know. He did it.
What's
It
one
just
of
moves
it?
on.
What's one of the movies that?
Twin Peaks is a famous show of his.
Oh, okay. I've never watched it. I know of it.
Does what? Blue Velvet. He does. I'm trying to think of something recent he's done. But I don't know. Really anything you watch is all like in the same bucket of it's just there's really no rules that apply to what he's offering you as a storyteller. Like it's just anything could happen. Like David Bowie was in Twin Peaks season 2. Like David Bowie, yeah, like himself. Like I don't know if that,
Yeah.
I don't know why I had to explain that, but yeah, no, David Bowie was in it, and well, he died between that and season 3, and he came back as a teapot, and they were like, "That's David Bowie now. He's a teapot now."
Oh,
And
so
you just had to accept that.
reason. Yeah, yeah.
Nope, you just got to accept that David Bowie is now a teapot. But you're sitting there like, what does the teapot represent?
You just start reading into it like a high school English teacher. Like
And the guy
Shakespeare was really trying to say.
absolutely. No, but the guy who made Drive. You ever seen Drive with Ryan Gosling?
That's the one. Oh,
Gosling? I don't know.
I don't think I have seen that. I do know what movie you're talking about. What's the one that's like Baby or something like that? It's like a kid that's the driver of like this heist group or something like that. Do you know what I'm referring
There was
to?
a show called Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. That's
I don't
different than
think that
Driver.
was him. Driver was a different movie. No, he just he's got a new Netflix series out right now, and Copenhagen Cowboy is the name of it, which I have no idea what that title has to do with the show. Maybe Copenhagen is nearby that area. I think it takes place in Eastern Europe, is what I've gathered. It's just his show. He does that same thing where it's just so strange that it keeps you like kind of invested in trying to figure out what's going on, but he's not making a point of letting you ever figure it out. Like it's just strange. The other one before that was Too Old to Die Young. That was when I was saying like movies that the good guy's gonna win and blah blah. Like Too Old to Die Young is just there's just no redeemable characters. There's no one you're like invested in winning. You're like everyone here is a piece of shit. and I'm just wondering when they're gonna be done being piece of shits to each other. Like,
Too Old and Die. That's a movie or a TV
Too
series?
Old to Die Young. It was a TV series. It was on Amazon. His past 2 shows, the Netflix one and that, have had 0 like advertising campaigns and stuff. And by the second one, I'm starting to think, I'm like, is this just his deal? Like, is this what he does? Like, he's like, oh, secret. Netflix hated it so much they didn't want you to know about my show. But like, legit, I think they do get their hands on these shows, and they're just so out of the norm that the people who, like I said, like to play safe, they know what works, they know what makes money. They're like, we have given you enough money. You're cut off. We are not going to spend $1 on a poster. Fuck you. Why did you waste all my money? Who the hell is this show for? It makes no sense. And I'm just like, this show's for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it's built a niche market for sure.
Yeah.
I would recommend
Tom Ye
copious
approved.
amounts of drugs for those programs.
Yes.
So, yep. Okay. So Tom Ye is like the drug addict, really cool Kanye who does nothing else. Is this what I'm
Did you
getting?
just try to personify Tom Ye?
That's
Tom
true.
Ye is Tom Ye.
Nobody
Tom
puts
Ye
I am the
everything.
real Tom Ye.
Tom Ye is everything.
I want the
puts Tom Ye
Tom
in
Ye
the
is
corner.
everyone.
is everyone. And you know what? We're going to transition into this wrap up. Huge
All right.
episode 100, big milestone. For all my listeners, thank you for tuning in to all the episodes you did throughout this time. It's been huge. And I just want to kind of recall the intro to this episode when I discussed how I am finally announcing that I am on YouTube. And for a while, I used to live off of a quote of a mutual friend of ours. Back in the day, you might know him as OG Adam if you've tuned into the show for a while. But he once told me, I think I had only like 4 or 5 episodes out. No one's listening to this podcast, and he prefaced it with, like, I don't want to be offensive. I just like want you to know, like, no one's listening. And at that time, I had not even launched or released episode 1. I was still just recording and creating a little backlog. And that advice has stuck with me for so long. This idea that, like, no one's listening. I just got to build my craft. I just got to get better. Yeah, people might pop in here and there, and some people might stay, and I really appreciate when they do, but I'm focused on just building this platform because I love doing podcasts. I love building Ever-Changing ViBE. I get to see my work, grow, and especially when I start looking back at some of the things I've done in the past and where I've come, and especially with YouTube, and I'm saying especially way too many times, but with the YouTube thing, putting it out, kind of taking that OG Adam advice of no one's watching this, and I just wanted to put it out so that I can learn the process. I could understand YouTube. I could understand, video editing. I was still practicing without having the stress or the burden of I'm doing this because I have to. I'm getting paid. It's how I'm going to feed myself tonight. I just kept doing it, and it was important to me to just get better at it, to get better at the content that I'm putting out. And with that time, I guess no one was watching. No one was watching. No one was listening. And I appreciate that. That's a little homage, and maybe we could talk about this at a later date, but Ever-Changing ViBE in kind of recent history has taken a very... No, I'm not ready to cut out. I got a little more to say. This is what I wanted to say in the intro, and I just was too caught up and too nervous. Hand off the button.
See, I only did my podcast because I had 4 million viewers every episode. That was just me, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Tommy's views were crazy.
I wanted to stop for a
Yeah,
long
when you started
time,
to
but I
plateau
just
at
kept
like
watching.
4.5, it wasn't worth it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got sick of it.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to make. I don't like this money. I'd rather. Anyways, okay, let's go back to my little rant. In the time, as Gio's becoming more or a bigger part of this Ever-Changing ViBE, now that I've announced Ever-Changing ViBE, I want this to kind of be the, long form content to the A0 HD. If you've already been tuning into that, if that's how you found Ever-Changing ViBE was from, checking out the AOHD content, and you found your way over here for a little more of Gio and I. Maybe you found us in a different way, then go check out AOHD. But this is the stuff that we want to bring to you guys. All the almost like building of AOHD, the content behind it, the personalities behind what we are able to show off, and the growth that we continue to have. And I appreciate everyone who's been a part of this journey so far and has kind of witnessed what has happened over 100 episodes. And I can't wait for 100,000, a million more episodes, however many I have time to do on this earth. It means so much to me that anyone is tuning in and popping in. And I want to say thank you for everyone who's been a part of this journey, not just viewers and listeners, but guests and people helping me out with stuff behind the scenes and just motivating and inspiring me in wild ways. Even if you've never even heard of Ever Changing Vibe before, then we thank you. We thank no one specifically. That's a quick little shout out. Done with the vague teasers.
So now that like you guys have if you guys got this far, and maybe you haven't, maybe you'll never hear this part. For all of you that didn't get this far, at least you know how much I cut out of the content to make it that 8 or 9 minutes. For all of you that are like, just show us the whole thing. There's no way. Yeah. No way I'm going to be doing that ever. Like, okay? So
yeah, an hour and 15. This is what he has to cut down. So with that, thank you again. Now we can play out our music. Tom, third mic.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Catch Tommy.
Closing remarks.
Thank you.